To Lebanon now. The health ministry there says 6 people were killed and 2 more wounded in Israeli strikes in the south of the country on Friday. Earlier, Israel's military said it had struck positions used by Hezbollah militants to launch rockets across the border. Israel has accused Hezbollah of trying to sabotage a ceasefire. That's been extended for 3 weeks. Since March, the Lebanese Health Authority says more than 2,000 people have been killed in Israeli strikes. And according to the UN, more than 1 million have had to leave their homes. Our Middle East correspondent Hugo Bashega reports from southern Lebanon.
She fled her village in fear, moved to Beirut thinking she would be safe. But an Israeli airstrike there killed her earlier this month. Zahra was 26. Her body was only brought back home and buried 2 days ago. Ali, her brother, came to play verses of the Quran for her.
It's very sad.
The hardest thing in life is losing someone from your family. That's the hardest thing.
There is now a ceasefire, but just moments ago we could hear a drone flying overhead.
The war never ends with Israel. There was a ceasefire agreement. But listen, you can hear the drones, and if you stay long enough, you can still hear airstrikes. There's not really a ceasefire.
Lebanon has been devastated by the war and seems unable to stop it. Israel has continued with its airstrikes, saying it is targeting Hezbollah, which for decades has fired rockets into Israel. And now Hezbollah is attacking again.
This village is 10 minutes from what the Israeli military calls the yellow line, and it isn't safe for us to get any closer. But that is the part of Lebanon that is now occupied by Israeli troops, and we still don't know when or if they're going to pull out.
Homes and hopes lie in ruins here. Najah takes us to her house, damaged in the last war and damaged again by this one.
We don't have nerves anymore. I can't take it anymore. What should we do? Where should we go? We don't want war anymore. That's enough. We are exhausted.
The ceasefire has been extended, but lasting peace remains elusive. This is a land that has seen many rebirths because of wars. And once more, its people are being forced to start again. Hugo Bashega, BBC News, Southern Lebanon.
Well, Lina Sinjab is in Beirut for us. Lina, the IDF and Hezbollah accuse each other of ceasefire breaches. What more do we know about the Israeli strikes yesterday?
Well, they said that they are targeting Hezbollah. They've hit the area around Bint Jbeil and other areas, killing at least 6 people. The IDF say that they are Hezbollah, but we've got no confirmation yet about who they are. The government says 6 people were killed, and this is the second day where people are killed during this 10-day ceasefire before it is extended. On Wednesday as well, the Israelis have killed 5 people, including a prominent journalist whose death sparked really anger across the country. Israel maintains the same line, that they have the right to protect Israel, to protect the northern border, and they need to attack Hezbollah operatives or Hezbollah structures so that to maintain this safety for their own nation. Hezbollah on its own say they are retaliating to Israeli attacks, and that's all. This whole narrative is threatening the ceasefire, despite the U.S. being behind these negotiations and the U.S. president announcing this extension of 3 weeks, including announcing that there might be a meeting between the Lebanese president and the Israeli Prime Minister, paving the way for a more lasting ceasefire and a lasting solution between the two countries.
Yes, on that, I mean, what are the chances of those two leaders sitting down anytime soon?
You know, I think we've only heard it from the US President Donald Trump that, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu and Joseph Aoun, the Lebanese president, are going to meet during the course of the coming 3 weeks, which is the period allocated for extending the ceasefire. There hasn't been any comment from either side whether this is going to happen or not. But I think that's going to be really, if it happens, it's a big breakthrough. I mean, the sheer fact of these direct negotiations happening between the two sides, you know, it only happened in 1993 to also find a solution for, you know, the two warring side. Lebanon has in its own law that it is criminal to deal with Israel. So to have a peace signed with Israel, knowing that none of the you know, countries in the region have had this kind of deal, is still really a big shot to look ahead. But just to secure a lasting ceasefire, for the government to have the Israelis pulling out from the south, to have the people, the civilians who've been displaced, to be able to go back to their towns and villages, despite most of them being flattened with Israeli bombardment, that's a breakthrough and an achievement for the Lebanese government and the Lebanese people. That is still no confirmation is going to be achieved. So I think, you know, things are going to take step by step until, you know, you reach an understanding of how the relationship is going to be between the two sides. And that's only if Hezbollah committed to the ceasefire and stopped firing rockets into northern Israel.
Lina Sinjab, thank you very much indeed.